You got to get out, and you got to go on out. The boat's got to go on out first. Do too. Hold on. Say cheese.
Cheese.
Smile. Are you good looking, B?
No. Come on, take this picture.
All right, hold on. Say cheese.
Cheese.
Where y'all at? Do you know?
Yeah, the Bahamas.
Well, what island?
Nassau.
All right. What'd you say? Good morning? Was that man bringing that coffee too early every morning?
No, it's just fine.
All right. Did y'all go eat?
Just getting a shower now. Getting ready to.
Kicking up mud. Coming into St. Thomas.
What's your freaking peacock, bud?
worried. I was worried about what. St. John's. Only get to about there.
Look at the turtle.
Back down. Look at the snail.
They got their own ferry. They got two other ferry like this one there. They got their own ferry. If you come in to stay there, they pick you up on the airport, put you in the ferry, take you in the ferry running back and forth if you want to go and shopping center. Like Cocktail Cruise around in the evening. The 11 tennis court bus is running through the resort. Because you go all the way down at the back of that point. There is 7 beaches around the property. You plan to spend a week over there, you could use a beach and each of them. Sometime there, we just pass Oxnett Mill, pass Bullseye, then it's Oxnett, right below you. This is all public. All the proper, this is all coral.
Hello.
Yeah, let's go get the
Oh, wow.
Take a note standing on the rocks for coral. Please move to a standing area. Here we look at the Canadian Resort. boats on the island. And they hold that 56 rooms and 7 lovely beaches, 3 restaurants, 2 swimming pools, and tennis courts, no golf course.
Yeah, just pictures. Lord. Hey, that looks like that one we stayed at Universal back.
Area overlooking the main town of St. John. This is called Coast Bay St. John. From down where you see the ferry boat, that's where the passengers come into St. John. And ferry boat, we see the coast of Visit. There's a poolside visit and the shopping center here. Look out to the right, point the brown building, you see Castella's Place on the median.
Taking a picture of our animals. You know, the ones that they...
No,
Why?
no, I forget.
Well, you ought to before we mess them up.
Well, this is what a cruise boat looks like. Here's to John.
By all means, get the balcony.
Oh,
Although we ain't been on it too much, but... Lost this water. What if it was a light? This pisses me off. You haven't signed it, but I know you got all the tails. You took a picture of it in the bathroom, right?
say cheese. You ain't looking over here.
I'm not. I brought my lighter. It stays lost.
You're about goofy.
It's always lost.
You got good looking legs for somebody pushing 60.
Oh, shut up. I'll walk you to. How you like that? That is really cute.
That's it, about yourself.
So, by the way, this is not yours.
I put it in the sun. Yeah, put it out in the sun. It changes colors. Guys, take it right at the door. Watch it change colors. It's in there.
$34. That's $34. Coconut rum and chocolate. Macanava. That big one.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Now, where your ship is docked is called the Dock the Water Facilities. My name is King. Welcome to the island. Now, all that you're seeing here is brand new. Our pier is just 2 years old, and $70 million have been invested right here. Now, soon to come will be a dolphin park right here on the left. And there's also a boardwalk which is already in place. That will take you from your ship along the shoreline straight down into the capital, Phillipsburg. That's coming up. Now, if you look across the bay, you're going to see the tallest building in town. It's called the Sea Palace. That's the building with the purple colored roof. Take a look to your left.
Purple color right there.
Now, I don't know if you did this morning already, but when we're coming back, we're going to make a downtown stop here in the capital, up to Dockside, and that will be for the shoppers. Those of you who are not going shopping, you stay on the bus and we're going to bring you straight back up here to the ship. When I drop the shoppers off in town, you will be on your own. To get back to the ship, you can take the land taxis, $3 a person, or you can take the water taxis, that is also cheap.
Once you cross the gas here,
It didn't say.
they can't even put it up there.
Now there's an area coming up here to your left, it's called
Is there a limit to what you can
Little Europe, and that is where we're going to make the drop off on our way back. If you look to the left, there it is. And that's the beginning of the main shopping street right there.
And that's what we'll need to
Okay,
do.
the land taxis are right there parked up. Now, we do have 5 casinos in town. All 5.
Hello.
Hello. Are you having fun?
Oh, yeah.
I called her too, so I like that.
Hey, that record show.
Communication Center. It's called Telem. And across on the left, the building that you're seeing here is our post office. Post. The other building coming up next to it is our central bank. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the island was discovered by Christopher Columbus in 1493. He didn't actually set foot here on the island. He just pinpointed us on the map, and being San Martin Day of Spain, he decided to call the island St. Martin. Originally, the island's name was called Liga, which means Island of Women. It was later changed to Soliga, which means Island of Salt, as in salt and pepper, which is what you're seeing to the right side, the largest salt pan on the island. Now, of course, we do not use it anymore, and our garbage dump is right across there to your right.
I knew she was your wife.
She's on the bed, I like her.
That's good.
Cut it.
Yeah.
Once at least
She's out there doing it.
Be a week over, they're gonna... 16 of that belongs to the Dutch. Now the Dutch side, being the smaller portion, is more developed. You will see that as we go along. On the Dutch side, we do have a Lieutenant Governor who is appointed by the Queen of Holland for a 6-year term. He also has his ministers, which they in turn reports to Curacao, our central government, and then to Holland. French side, we have an elected mayor and his ministers, which they in turn reports to Guadeloupe, which is their central government, and then to France. Now we do have 2 of everything on the island. Each side have their own system, and everything is completely different on both sides. St. Martin also happens to be the smallest piece of land in the world to be shared by 2 sovereign powers. Now I'm going to take you along the bayside, and you're going to see quite a few hotels going around this area. You will have a nice view also of your ship, docked at the pier. You're going to see the downtown area, and again, your ship docked at the pier. Whole island is about 90,000. You will see that we have a Radio Shack. It is on your right side, Radio Shack.
Do you have a Harley?
Oh yeah,
You do?
we're gonna pass that.
Okay.
some bikers coming on the cruise ship. See you taking me on that.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, man. Should we get off one other place and walk back down because we gotta go pick up a ring?
They'll need to ride back on the bus
Yeah, they can have that.
because they don't have the water taxi stuff. Yeah, I guess so. They get off the
Now look over to your left, there's the beach. And if you look back up to the left, now there's your ship.
That place up there, Mike, you make your good deal of $143. That's what this is for. You don't make it.
Here's the first hotel coming up on your left side. It's called the Great Bay Beach Hotel and Casino.
Good.
Now I think it is closed from the 1st of this month. They're going to do a complete renovation of this hotel. It's going to be closed for about 6 months, and when it's finished it will be a 5-star hotel. Great Bay Beach Hotel, one of the oldest hotels on the island. Now if you look there to the left, that round section that you're seeing there is the casino.
That's right. Oh, that'd be good. If I were to ask about an airport, I see an airplane coming in, so I guess they've got one.
I'm about ready to ask what the jet skis are. Get them things out. Get jet skis.
Okay, if you want to take a picture, you go right ahead, and back there to the left you can see the downtown pier. That's where the water taxi is coming in. Takes you right across the bay, straight back up to your ship. Now if you're going to take the water taxis back up to your ship today, it's more scenic, of course, going across the harbor. And that boat is anchored right in front of that ship. There's a pier right up in that area.
You don't want it to flash because it's flash.
No, it flashed back. Too late.
And now, look.
You want to get up here, Lou?
No, I want to watch this over here. I'm in the right seat.
You know, on some days during the season time, we can have as much as 8 ships right outside here. Now the pier where your ship is docked can hold 4 big ships, and the other 4 will be anchored right there. And they will tender them from there to the downtown pier. Now the other buildings that you're seeing across to your left, that's the D.B. Little Ray Beach Hotel. And this was the first hotel to be ever built on the entire island. Now when the Queen of Holland comes here, this is where she stays. Now that's a new section of the hotel. It's also a timeshare. The old hotel is right here to the roadside, behind that barrier on your left. You see that gray colored roofs? That's the old hotel right there. That's the new section. Now if you look across to the point of the island there, you can see a port. That is called Fort Amsterdam, which was built by the Spanish in 1631.
That 30 times down there.
Here's the last hotel around this area coming up to your left. This is also timeshare. Bel Air Beach Hotel. Now it's very quiet around this area. Very quiet. Right in front of us now is one of our many freshwater ponds. And this pond acts as a catch basin for water that comes down from these hills. It's also the habitat for 3 different species of birds. We have the white egrets, the gray pelicans, our national bird, and ducks. All these buildings that you're seeing on the right side are owned by locals. And if you should come back as a land-based tourist, you can get one of these buildings to rent. Monthly. Furnish, $1,000 US. Unfurnished, $800 US. And right there to your right, that's 4 houses right there, 2 on the top, 2 below. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the population of the island, officially, we have 70,000. 40,000 is on the Dutch side. Unofficially, we have well over 90,000. Now this came about because the island was made into an enterprise zone to encourage foreign investors. That came with a lot of skilled people, which the island didn't have at that time. Here we had lots of folks coming into the island to work from different parts of the world. And both sides of the island governments, they just looked in the other direction. And that's why up till today we have so many undocumented people still living here on the island. We do have over 80 different nationalities here. The building on your right is our medical center. And very convenient to cross the street in front of our medical center, our funeral home. You don't even have to pay for transportation. Now the building coming up on your left, this is an American school called Learning Unlimited.
How many times? In your coats. And that way she looked.
You look down to your right, you're going to see our sports complex. This one is for track and field, and they also play soccer right there. Now the national sport for the dot side is baseball, and the baseball fields are right up between those hills. On the front side, it's soccer. And you can see the basketball courts right up to this. Of course, we do have other denominations. And coming up now on your right, you will be able to see a mosque. And that would be the building with the dome on the top. Have two official currencies. On the top side, we use the Netherlands Antillean Gilde, or florin, which is 1.80 to the US dollar. On the French side, they have now switched over to the euro. And that's €1, 1 US dollar. That's only in the local areas. Anywhere out of that, you're going to have to pay something like $1.25 to the euro. Neither side of the island would accept each other's money. So we do have a third unofficial currency, the US dollar. Now that is widely accepted all over the island. Whatever you buy today, you will get your change back in US currency. Now look across the ocean. That's the Caribbean Sea that you're looking at. Now can you guys see an island on the horizon? Just barely make out the shade right there.
Yeah.
Now take a good look at that island. It was featured in an old black and white movie. Very popular. Can you guys name that movie?
Oh yeah,
No?
big one. It's straight ahead, it's big. It's a mountain. It's a mountain.
Get it close, get it close.
Family Robinson, whatever that is.
Swiss Family
Family
Robinson.
Robinson.
No, it goes way back. An old black and white popular movie. You guys are not going to get it. It's Skull Island. Its real name is Sabre. It's a Dutch island. And it's just one big volcanic rock. Dutch called St. Eustatia, which was the first island in the Caribbean to salute the American flag, and that was way back in 1776. Then you have the British island of St. Kitts, and then you have the British island of Nevis. And Nevis is the birthplace of Alexander Hamilton. Our gasoline bulk station, which is Shell, Texaco, also the power plant for the dock side and water desalination plant. All of that is right below us here. Now this is where we get our drinking water from the ocean. Very expensive. It goes through a process which is called reverse osmosis. And that is what's running in our homes as tap water. Now if you look down to the left on the hills there, you see like a resort going down to the beach side. Now behind that hill we have the Pelican Resort and Casino, which have been nominated many times for timeshare. Then you have the La Vista Hotel and the Flamingo Hotel right behind that hill. Right in front of us, the long white building on your left, is the Royal Palm Beach Hotel. And as we come down a little further, in the lagoon itself, the red roof buildings coming into view now, that is the Princess Hotel and Casino. And way down on the hill to our left, the high-rise buildings, that's the Maho Beach Hotel and Casino. The Mullet Bay is right next to it with the 18-hole golf course. The Sapphire Club, the Towers, and the Caravanserai. All of them are down that area. Now, all on those hills you're seeing way down, we do have quite a few celebrities that have their winter homes here on the island, like Cyndi Lauper, Diana Ross, Michael Jackson, Paul Newman, Charles Bronson, Harry Belafonte, the Rockefellers, and even the late Jackie Onassis. Now, her estate is up for sale, $2 million. Anyone interested? Oh, right, you gotta see me. Now I can show you Jackie's estate from right here. Take a look way down on the left, those hills, you're gonna see two hills there like a V. On the left side, right to the top of the hill is a big white house. That's Jackie's estate right there.
Wow.
That's a very nice view there.
Yeah, I do.
Look, right there at the top of the hill. Say that. It's in the center, right here.
Look carefully.
An apple?
No?
Papaya.
Look at it. There's something right in the middle of the fruit.
I don't see it.
You don't recognize the shape of that?
It looks like kidney beans.
Ah, come on. That's a cashew nut.
Cashew.
Oh,
Yeah, it does.
That's the cashew nut tree.
wow.
Now it comes out with a pear-shaped fruit, what you're seeing there, and right in the center of the fruit you have the nut. Now 1 nut per fruit, that's why they're so expensive. Now we do eat the fruit, it can be eaten. But the nut itself, you know, if you're going to roast it when you just pick it from the tree, it's poisonous, the oil from the cashew nut is very poisonous. Now what we do is put them to dry for about maybe a week in the sun, where the sun draws out the oil, and then you can have it roasted. But if you do that while it's young, and if you have chickens around, it will affect the chickens.
KFC.
They even have the cashew nut oil, which they had some of the electrical cables that was installed into that cashew nut oil in the aircrafts, and it was making the mechanics sick. And they did find out it was the cashew nut oil. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we've just come down the Cold Bay Hill. And a long time ago, St. Martin used to produce cotton, sugar, tobacco, indigo, that's a type of dye, and salt. Now today, we do not have that anymore, and we're into tourism 100%. Now as we get to the end of the street, we're going to make a slight turn to the left. There now you will be able to see the oldest tree on the entire island. It's called a K-pop, or a silk cotton tree. It's over 350 years. It got badly damaged back in 1999 by Hurricane Lenny, and some of the branches had to be cut away. Now the older it gets, the more deformed the trunk of the tree becomes, and the roots rises above the ground. It is to your left.
Oh my.
There you go.
That's pretty right. That's it.
Now there's a lot of weeds around the roots, but as we go by, take a look to your left, you see how high that root is. There it is. Now across on our right is one of our public schools. The school is out right now.
Right there.
Coming up on your left, first time on the island, just 6 months old,
You got lines.
the Salvation Army.
Lines is international, so.
You can reach out and
It
touch
is on your left. Now we're coming up for the bike lovers. Who loves Harley Davidson? Now, about a month ago, we had 65 bikers coming in here on the cruise ship. Along with our 30 here on the island, they have a club and they have a nice motorcade around the
Let me
island.
buy one.
Now, as we reach the Harley Davidson outlet, on the outside you're going to see some of the bikes, and these are for rent.
Now she'll eventually give me.
And the showcase is right there. That's coming up to the left.
Jetliner coming in. I'm sorry?
The older she gets, the more she gets.
Exactly.
Oh, you gotta stop, let's get a t-shirt.
They used to have a store in town, you know, but I don't know if they still have it there. But here's the Harleys right here on the left side.
Really?
Okay, I
Fat
can't
boy,
get
you fat boy about 13,
I want a
14,000.
sports for 1,200. Just play, just ride right now. I'm not doing Howard right
Now all these cars that you're seeing here on the left and right side are used cars
now. Nah, go ahead.
that comes down from Miami.
That's why he was worse.
Now, they're not stolen,
There's
eh?
new Jeeps. Not cheap to be a Jeep.
And the prices that you see there, those are monthly installments,
Okay,
okay?
650. Okay.
We have a no money down system here on the island now. No money down, but that's the monthly bill that you have to pay. Now we're into the village of Cold Bay, and this used to be the first town. Now also remember I told you we have two of everything on the island. Well, we have two airports. On the top side we have the Princess Juliana International Airport. There are just over 1 million people passing through here every year. On the French side, they have a smaller airport called L'Espérance, which means in English, hope. They're hoping that you land safely. Now the drilling system called in the supermarket here on your left, it's not a farm, but they have some animals here. The goats are not there today, but they do have a short breed of goats that is right there. You're going to see some ostriches, geese and ducks coming up to. This morning they weren't there, so that's why I said that. Now here they are. Here's the ostriches way down by the fence.
All right, yeah. Ostrich meat's good.
Now see that big goat lying down there with the horns? That's the best kept goat on the island. Now they do have a goat competition, and he's been winning it now for the past 5 years. Best kept goat on the island. He's very big, you know. Now there you can see our national tree again, the flamboyant with the flowers. We have them in the pink, we have the red, the orange and white. That's the colors. Now we also have 2 telephone companies, and to make a call from either countries. Now here's the entrance that leads down to that hotel we saw from the top of the hill, the Princess Hotel, right here on your left. Now look across the lagoon on your left, and you're going to see the runway for the international airport on the top side. See the white lines. Look across. Okay, there's a flight coming in now. There's a plane about to touch down there. Now believe it or not, that do take 747s, and also the Concorde landed there twice. And that was back in 1989, the late Francois Mitterrand from France. 3 guarded borders. There's no 3 border guards, those 3 flat poles. Now see how easy that is? There's no passports, no papers necessary to get from one side of the island to the other. We do have open borders, and we are free to cross anytime, day or night. Now if you look up on the hillside to your left, that house that you're seeing here belongs to the former senator of Massachusetts, that's Senator Edward Brooke. He's married here to the richest lady on the French side, second marriage. All this land that you're about to see here now, as far as the eyes can see, belongs to that lady. Now he was here about 4 months ago, where he made a $25,000 donation to the AIDS Foundation. Now you can also tell anyone today that you visited a part of France, right here in the Caribbean. Now the French side is a province of France. They do vote in French presidential elections. They also carry French passports. They are also part of the European Union. One can come down from Europe and live and work here on the French side without papers. Even though we are a part of Holland on the Dutch side, we belong to a federation called the Netherlands Antilles, which consists of a chain of islands just off the coast of Venezuela, which is Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire. Up here you got Dutch St. Martin, Sabre, and belongs to Senator Brooke, brother-in-law. And he happens to be a politician on the French side. Now that house is made from those rocks that you're seeing along the roadside on your right. And those are what we call slave walls or ballast stones. These were brought here to the island from the ships coming over from Europe as ballast. Up on the hillside now to your right, see those two buildings? They belong to Senator Brooke, mother-in-law. What can I say? When you got it, you got it. Now along the roadside to your right, there you can see a sign, Marigot. This is the capital of the French side. Now the French would say, Marigot. We're going to be passing through a little village here now in the capital called St. James. By the French in 1786. We're going to come very close to that as we go down on the waterfront. A very interesting tree coming up in front of us again. See that tree hanging over the roadside? It's to your left. Look in the back of the house. You see some green things hanging right there. That's a calabash tree. And are you familiar with the musical instrument, the maracas? That's what it's made from. You're going to see lots of them when we get down to the waterfront. They have them painted in different colors, also different sizes. Now here's some more interesting trees coming up. These tall green trees on the left, these are all almond nut trees, almond nuts. Right here. When they're ripe, they turn yellow. And that's the time when we take them off or we fall on the ground and we eat them. Here's some mango trees on your left. There's the young mangoes. They come much bigger than what you're seeing there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're on to the French side. And the languages which are spoken here, their first language is French. They will speak a little English. They also speak Spanish. And Creole, which is what we call the patois. On the Dutch side, their first language is Dutch, which you will seldom hear. It's mostly being spoken in the schools. English is widely spoken on the Dutch side. They also speak Spanish and Papiamento. Now, Papiamento is a mixture of about 3 different languages that came out of the days of slavery. Slavery has been abolished over 150 years ago, but the language remains. Now, those 3 islands I mentioned, which is Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao, that is where you mostly will hear that language being spoken. Now, there's a gas station coming up to our right, and I know that you're curious to know prices. Well, we do have 2 different prices on the island. On the Dutch side, we're paying $2.25 a gallon. That comes from Trinidad. On the French side, they're paying $2.16. That comes from the U.S. Virgin Islands. That's right. Right in the center of town now, and we're heading down to the waterfront. Now, the French do believe in taking their lunch break, so some of the stores are going to be closed. Like this one, the La Romana, it's closed for sure. Carrots, next to it, across on your left is the Goldfinger, Oro de Sol, Cartier, and Colombian Emeralds. Whatever you see on the price tag in these stores, that is what you will have to pay. They do not negotiate the prices. These stores are owned by Europeans. Now, we have the same stores on the Dutch side in the shopping area. They are owned by East Indians, and you can bargain on the Dutch side. Now, take a look on your right overhead, and you will see that fort now, to the right side. Right overhead.
I can barely see it.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, how many of you saw the movie Speed 2, Cruise Control? That was done right here. We had those movie stars staying with us here for more than 3 months. Sandra Bullock, Jason Patrick, all of them are right here on the island for more than 3 months.
Police station. Shopping mall. Shopping mall.
All of that you'll get right here to your left. Now this is the area where that boat came crashing up in this area. Now they have built a beautiful little square here, and these are the local vendors. Here you get t-shirts, paintings, souvenirs, spices, hot sauces. You can even have your name written on a grain of rice.
Yeah, we need that.
I don't know if it's gonna stop or not.
We won't stop here for long.
Now, if you're into the tablecloths, take a look to your left. See those beautiful tablecloths on the left side? Now, these are handmade, and you can test the quality before you buy. There's the lady sitting right there. Now, if you mention my name to any one of these ladies, especially the one with the tablecloths, she's going to give you a good discount. Now, all these ladies on the left and right side are my friends. Just friends. Just friends.
No. Oh, no.
Now the lady on the right side, she does braiding right there. So if you guys want a braid or two in your hair, $2 for one braid.
Screw up your face and cut off Mr. Richman. You don't know the way you get far. It's a revolution time.
Yeah, I took it back. She said she had credit card.
Say cheese.
Oui, mais c'est toi semaine. Je paye tous les 3 semaines. Pas pour comment qui semaine qui était passée, ma chambre qui était passée sur
Ça, c'est les dates de payer à soumettre. Les dates là pour vous. Les dates là pour vous.
ma chambre qui était passée. Was, man findest die anderen zu gross, oder was?
Been to New York last time I've been there. You got to last time I've been to New York.
A color. And that's a $10 store.
Nothing more than 10?
Nothing less than 10. It's more, yeah. Now, for those of you who've been here before, this is pretty new. It's not even 1 year old as yet. This is the Marina Fort Louis. And for those of you who remember how here looked like, all here we are driving used to be the sea. So this section right here on the left, it's new. And if you look way out on the left, you see they have a breakwater right there. Then we have the rough seas. Boy, those waves will come right inside here.
When I have a hurricane.
The military ship there.
Now if you look across to the left there, you can see the island of Anguilla once again. And remember the ferry boat, there's one of the ferry boats going across. That will take them about half an hour getting there. And it just costs you $20 US round trip. Now ladies and gentlemen, the children here on the island, they go to school 9 months out of the year. And school starts here on the front side at 8:30. They do have a lunch break and they will let out at 3:30, except for Wednesdays when they give the teachers a half day. On the dot side, it starts at 7:30. They also have a lunch break and they will let out at 1:30. Now it is compulsory for the children on the dot side to wear uniforms. Each school have their own colors. So even though it's past school time, when we get back to the dot side, you will see a lot of kids walking around in the different color uniforms on that side. It's not compulsory on the front side. Take a look here now to your left, and you're going to see how the sugar cane is grown. It looks like a bunch of grass right there to the left side. See those things right there on the left? That's the sugar cane. What looks like grass. Now on the island we do have 2 power plants. On the dot side, the power outlet is 110 volts. American sockets and plugs. Here on the front side it's 220 volts. European sockets and plugs. If you look down to the left, see that yellow building close to the seaside? That is the front side electricity and water desalination plant. Now also, ladies and gentlemen, on the island we do not have any freshwater springs or rivers. We totally depend on the rainwater and also the seawater. Now if you look at some of the houses that we're passing, you will see that they have these little spoutings or gutters under the roofs. And there's a pipe that leads down to an underground cistern. Most of these houses are built upon these cisterns. Here now the natives will collect the rainwater and use it for domestic purposes. Now the seawater, it goes through a process which is called reverse osmosis, and it's perfectly safe to drink. That is what's running in our homes as tap water. Some people do call St. Martin the party island because it's easier for you to get drunk on the island than for you to quench your thirst. To buy a bottle of drinking water that with their big size will cost you almost $2. And to buy your bottle of beer, Heineken, would just cost you 99 cents. That you won't get on the French side. There's a place along the beach on the Dutch side called Everything Cool. Right there is where you're going to find the 99 cents beers. You can also get 2 Budweiser for $1. It is once again the island of Anguilla. And there's where the famous movie star Chuck Norris has his winter home. The island, and it's around this side that most of our fruits and vegetables are grown, like the mangoes, the avocados, bananas, plantains, all of that you will find right around this area. Whatever we grow on the island is just being sold here. We do not have that amount to be exported. Now, most of the locals do grow their own fruits and vegetables in their backyards. And some of the neighboring islands like Guadeloupe, Dominica, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Grenada, all of them come here to sell their fruits and vegetables. The island of Anguilla, the fishermen come here to sell their catch. You're going to see the banana trees, and you're going to spot some of the bananas hanging from those trees. Right here by that fencing on your right side. There's the bunches of bananas hanging. This area is called Fort Louis, and here's where most of the locals are living around this side. Why to choose that area to live? Right behind those hills is one of the most beautiful beaches that we have on the island. It's called Friars Bay. We do have 36 beaches on the island. All of them are public. No hotel owns the beaches. All of them are public. We also have one of the most expensive hotels in the world right here on the French side. It was featured on the lifestyle of the rich and famous. Now that hotel is called La Samana. $1,500 a night. And it's right down where you see Jackie Onassis' house is, right in that area. On the hillside now to your right, those antennas you're seeing there marks the highest point on the entire island. It's called Peak Paradise, 1,800 feet. There to your right, there's the sign, and that's the road that takes you right up to the top of that hill. Now we do have another celebrity that has his winter home right to the top of that hill. Now that house is not visible from this side of the island, just the road. When we come around the other side of the island, you will be able to see that house. Now this guy is a rock singer, and he's British. Can anyone guess who that person is? I think I heard someone say it just a while ago. No?
Elton John?
No?
Billy Idol.
In the first attempt, I'm sure you heard someone calling it. No?
How yeah, know how.
It's the biggest lips in the business.
Oh,
Good clue.
That's right.
That's all you had to say was lips.
Now, we still don't know if that house belongs to him or his ex-wife.
Probably his ex-wife.
Now, there's the island of Anguilla once again, and that's the closest we're going to get from that village below. It's about 7 miles across. 7 miles.
Boy, they're gearing on this motorcycle.
Those houses cannot be
Now,
wrong.
this area that we're passing is called La Savane. And we will be going down into that village shortly called Grand Case or Grand Case. On the Dutch side, it's casinos. We have 13 casinos on the Dutch side. There's no casinos on the French. What they do have here is cockfighting. Here they will put 2 roosters to fight, and they can bet up to $25,000. They also go to the island of Puerto Rico and buy these cocks. Now, your gambling on the Dutch side is being controlled by a government controller. He controls the gambling. As a native of the Dutch side, you're allowed into the casinos twice per week. As a native of the French, you're allowed as often as you wish because you're classified as a tourist. Over to you right now, these are the accidents from last week. And they do come much bigger than what you're seeing there. And by that time, when they get that big, they call it that's full, when they're full. And we will pick it, have it roasted, and we eat that with codfish. It can be boiled as well, but it's much nicer when it's like overripe. And that's when we roast it at Martinique, or you go to France. That side, same age. And as you complete your high school, you go on to Curacao and also the University of the Virgin Islands. Coming up to our left is what we call man-made salt ponds. It is to your left. Now back there in the village to your left side, there used to be a floodgate. When the tide was high,